Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Chevy and GMC podcast. It's me, Lucerado, and I have here today with me Silverback 4x4 wheeling. How you doing today, Manny?
Good to be here. It's quite an honor and privilege. So thank you for having me.
It's always good to have all the friends come out and talk for a bit and get to know a little bit more about each person. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your vehicle, and how you got into all this.
All right. Yeah. So my name is Manny. I yeah. Good question. So here we go. Um, we'll go back in time to when COVID happened. Um, nobody was doing anything. Everything was closed. And I'm a type of person that needs to be doing something. Um, So, I go on YouTube, and a while before COVID happened, my brother bought me for my birthday a remote control truck, one of those off-road remote control trucks.
Yeah,
It
I
it
remember
was
those.
a Traxxas, I believe. Yeah, Traxxas. Um, so he bought me one, and then I was on YouTube looking at, off-road RC cars and all that. And then on the feed, like the real off-road videos would come out, like I remember it'd be like Trails Off-Road. I think they have a channel. Um, Dirt Nation and some other ones that I would see, and that kind of got like that really spiked my interest in like getting a real one. Um, so at that time, I had a 2015 Volkswagen Passat TDI and a Nissan Rogue all-wheel drive. I think it was a 2000, 2012, I believe.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah. So the funny thing is, the Rogue was an all-wheel drive. So I was thinking, all right, all-wheel drive. I may go out and do. Let's go see what this puppy can do, right? So I look at, trails around my area.
Yeah.
I live in the San Fernando Valley, so I have Rower Flats, which is not too far from me. It's up in Santa Clarita. I took it there, and I really enjoyed, taking it off the pavement. Um, but being that it was a Nissan Rogue, very not capable at all, right? So
Yeah.
um, I got back home and I said to my wife, I said, "Hey, I'm gonna get me an off-road vehicle." Um, And, I was looking at the market to see what was good and comparing and whatnot. Um, so then I had my list, top of the list was, what does everybody have? Toyota
I'm
Tacoma.
assuming a Toyota.
Toyota Tacoma, yes, sir. Ding, ding, ding. You guessed correctly. So yeah, at the top of the list was the Tacoma, the high-end one, and then right under that was the ZR2, and then right under the ZR2 was the Nissan Frontier, and then after that it was just like whatever, anything. So we went back and forth, talking about like the price and all kinds of things. Um, I really wanted a new vehicle, but being that what it was gonna be used for, like I really got convinced that, maybe I should get a used vehicle. So my wife really helped me out in looking for 4x4 off-road vehicle, truck, and she came across the GMC Canyon, which I own, which is it's a 2010 GMC Canyon. It's got the five-cylinder, 3.7 liter engine. It's all four-wheel drive. It's got the Eaton G80 locker in the rear. So we saw that one online, and in that year, it had in 2020, I think it had like 60,000 miles. So I was like, okay, not bad. Went out to Victorville, test drove it, everything checked out, and yeah, I ended up getting it. I figured, half the price, and if it's just as capable, with a couple upgrades, why not? So ever since I purchased that truck, man, it's been nonstop and a fun journey with this whole off-road passion that I've grown to have in my life.
Nice. Now, out of curiosity, because being that GMC is considered more the classier version, which actually surprised me, saying that the Canyon was actually was it? You're saying it was a lot cheaper than the ZR2 version? Well, being ZR2 would be the off-road capable one all the way. I'm
So
assuming the Canyon would have been comparable with what an LT.
correct, yeah, because
Okay.
so the ZR2, yeah, that would be like from 2013, I believe, and up. And so this being a 2010, yeah, it would be comparable to that, or maybe even a Z71.
Oh yeah.
Um, so, but yeah, I mean, I was extremely happy, and then, you know, I took it out to the same place, Rower Flats. Um, it did good. I really like what it did, its capabilities. And then I took it to Hungry Valley up over there in Gorman.
Hmm.
Um, I really, this was my first time doing the whole 4x4 thing, off-roading with a true 4x4, and I really like how it performed. But then looking at other people with their trucks a little bit lifted, bigger tires, probably better suspension, more clearance, like in the front bumper and
Hmm.
whatnot, and I was like, okay, I need to mod my truck. So I want to say less than a month, I started to look into okay, what parts can I get? How can I upgrade it to make it just a little bit more capable?
Yeah.
Um, and and then somebody mentioned to me, I think it was my brother at the time. He said, "Why don't you start an Instagram page for your truck? Give it a name. Maybe start a brand and this and that." And I said, "Nah, dude, I'm just in it just to go out, like um, by myself, maybe on the weekends or whatnot." Well, it's funny because I was like, "Okay, sure, let's give my truck a name. Why not? Just for the funsies, right?"
Yeah.
So him, my brother, and then my best friend, we were throwing out like names and whatnot, and nothing really stuck, right? So after I installed the lift, I gave it a 3-inch lift, 3-inch suspension lift, and then I got 33s on it. It made the truck look a little bit more, um, what would you say, like
Aggressive.
stocky,
Oh.
aggressive, like, yeah, aggressive is a good word. It gave it a little bit more of aggressive look, a little bit more buff type look and whatnot. And we're like, and we're going with the names back and forth. So I want to say it was one of them, and I feel bad not giving the credit to the right person. So I'll say both of them came up with why not Silverback, being that the truck is silver color, and I was like,
Hmm.
okay, so it's stuck, and Silverback 4x4 wheeling. I started the Instagram. Um, you were one of the first. You, Alfred. Um, there's a couple other cats out there. We see them out there in Southern California community. Carlos, there's a
Oh,
good
polluting
amount.
Bronco.
Yeah, exactly, Polluting
Yeah.
Bronco, Sal. There's a good amount of guys that I started chopping it up with from the beginning, and even people from out of state like Anthony, 702 Z71, I believe. Um, you know, AZ Native ZR2 Pete. Like, there's a good amount of people that I was chopping it up from the beginning. And man, ever since then, it's been nothing but fun, nothing but fun. I've had nothing but great experience with this off-road passion of mine that uh, I have in my life now.
Oh, that's awesome. And it's funny that you say that your brother gave you the idea because just like in my case where my niece gave me the idea for creating the profile page for the truck when I first got into it
Yeah, yeah, like family coming through with with the
with the
names for
idea
our
exactly,
vehicles. Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
especially when it's the younger community, they're like, yeah, just do it all through Instagram. You'll find out whatever you need there.
Exactly,
Sure enough.
exactly.
I mean,
Yeah,
what
no,
we ended up getting into great communities. We ended up making a lot of friends through it, so it's not bad.
yeah, yeah, no, it's cool. I really dig it a lot, and like I said, I've had nothing but positive, good experiences so far. Many, many, many years ago, I was in the whole car scene, um, but and just as much as I had passion for that, I have passion for this. Like, I really enjoy it. It's something that's ingrained in me, and I try to go off-roading as much as I can. Um, and, I do give my vehicle some I do test it out. I do kind of push it to its limit sometimes.
Hmm.
And, you
Yeah.
doing that yourself, you're bound to break a part or two, and it's just part of the game. It's pay to play,
Yep, that's true.
It's, you gotta have in mind that something might break, and you're more than likely gonna break something sooner than later, so it's keeping that in mind. Because a lot of people ask me like, "Oh, should I start off-roading?" I say, "Well, there's a couple of questions you gotta ask yourself, before you start this, hobby," you know?
How much are you willing to break and learn from? Because
Exact
you're as you know me, I mostly ran my vehicles stock for the longest time, and I did little upgrades here and there.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
yeah.
eventually you're gonna get to a point where whatever you did stock level is no longer gonna cut it. You're gonna need to start upgrading and all that.
Absolutely, absolutely, and you'll find that out real quick within the first trail or 2 that you do. You're like, "Okay, I managed to do these obstacles, but that one I couldn't quite do it, and I think if I got bigger lift, maybe bigger tires, maybe, uh, a locker in the front, maybe I'll be able to do it." So, like, all these upgrades, all these, fixes that you gonna have to do along the way, they're it's gonna come unless you're like, unless you're, very content just, having it and really not pushing your vehicle to its limit, but I feel like I feel like people are just gonna wanna do it
Oh yeah,
naturally,
over
you
time, over
know?
time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's just usually how the way it would go. I mean, like for example, I was just driving my truck regularly, just to go, camping and all that, and started seeing some of the off road hell with SoCal rigs on the first run, which was Lido Creek. Yeah, ever since then, I was like, all right, I need to get lights, I need to get tires, I need to get a lift, I need to get this, I need to get that.
Oh, yeah, yeah, and it adds up. It adds up really quick.
Oh, definitely. So
Yeah,
speaking of which, what's your next? What do you have? What are your next planned big mods, or you haven't
mhm.
decided just yet?
No, no, so here's the thing, when I moved from the 33s to 35s, that was my last mod that I did, and the mod that I've been wanting to do after I put the 35s, which I still haven't gotten to, was, do the do a front bumper and do the high clearance rear bumper cuts, like, for the
Okay.
on the back fenders,
Yeah.
side flares, fenders, I've been wanting to do that just so I can get a little bit better clearance. Um, but just life is going on, and then Uncle Sam wanting his cut,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and
Definitely.
so it's all about like the right timing. But yeah, that's definitely the next mod that I'm gonna do to it. Um, and then ultimately, where I want to like the end goal for it is I want an LS swap, and then I want to do a solid front axle. Um,
Oh, nice.
and then yeah, that I'll be more than happy. I mean, I'm very happy with where it's at right now, but I feel like, you always say, "Oh, that's it. That'll be the last thing."
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
yeah.
something comes out and you're gonna want
Oh
it,
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, but
or you encounter an obstacle and then it's gonna be like, no, you know what? We got to get it going.
exactly, exactly. But as far as like right now at this current moment where I'm at is just having those things, the front and rear bumpers, uh maybe knock on wood this year or next year, and at least in the near future, do the LS swap and then front
Oh, that's gonna be
axle
nice.
swap. Yeah, solid axle. That'll be great.
I'm thinking once I kill my motor, that's probably when I'll LS swap it.
So see, that's funny because you're right, you're right. So a lot of people have been giving me that idea. It's like, hey, brother, why don't you just wait, write it out, save some money, and you're able to stack your chips a little bit longer. But man, like this engine is really, really good, man. Like, and I've actually seen other people with the same truck, and they're like odometers reading like 378,000 miles, and I'm like,
See,
geez,
you
I got
don't,
a long, I got a long
you don't
ways to
need, yeah,
go.
yeah, you don't need a Toyota to get good mileage out of your motor.
Yeah, man, just treat it good, give it its maintenance, and hopefully, you got a vehicle that, the engine came out really good in it, and geez, but I feel like, man, if if I wait till that engine gives out, then I'm gonna be waiting a good while, man. It seems
No, that's
like it.
true.
It
That's true.
seems like it. So
Now you're gonna get like what kind of like LS motor were you looking at? So,
I get the
small block
baby.
or
Yeah, I'll get the baby one, the
not bad.
5.3 or something like that. There's so many varieties of that engine, the LS out there. So to all of them, there's like pros and cons to them, you know. So it's just trying to figuring out which one is I'm gonna, want to throw in there. Right now, it's just as far as like where that where all of that's at is just right now it's in the idea cloud phase. Not even close to like, diving into doing more research or
Oh yeah.
just because I mean these trucks, it's funny. If Eric, not a ZR2 from the Colorado, hears this podcast, he's gonna be like, there he goes again, talking about these trucks came with an 8 cylinder. Because no, but yeah, these trucks did come with an 8 cylinder engine. So they came with that 5.3. So I mean, I might even go with that, with that one. We'll just keep it all bolt on stockish, but a little
Yeah.
bit more power.
No, for sure. I mean, dude, I had the Colorado, my 2019 Colorado was a V6, and now I
Yeah.
got the Silverado with the V8, 5.3 V8, flex fuel motor, actually, the top of all
Okay.
types. And I
Interesting.
mean,
Interesting.
I put that thing to work,
Yeah, yeah.
whether it's off-roading, trailing, or just, regular day-to-day work stuff, since that is also still my daily vehicle.
It is your daily, right? That's what I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, nice. Yeah, um this is I can say it's my daily as well. We have three vehicles. We have I have my truck. So uh, what was it? I want to say maybe 3 months ago or so, I ended up selling the Jaguar because I mean,
Oh,
yeah, even though it was a fun SUV and fast and like I said, fun, it's just not it, it wasn't being used, and it was
just sitting there
just
collecting dust.
yeah, it was the weekend car, and it wasn't even really a weekend car. It was probably being used maybe 3 times, 4 times a month. So I was like, why am I paying all this for freaking this just brick staying out there? So I
Yeah.
ended up just trading that one and getting my wife a new daily, which is a Kia Sportage. So we got the Kia Sportage, and then we still have the backup vehicle, which is a Ford Escape hybrid. I can be using the hybrid. This is funny because a lot of people tell me like, why don't you use that one as your daily? And just like you and every other person that has a vehicle that they like so much, I think you can all agree with me that driving a vehicle that you like and it's more fun to drive, all of that, oh, well, you're gonna save gas and you're not gonna put many miles on it, goes out the window. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
It
I can
goes out
agree
the
with you
window.
100%.
I can drive the Ford Escape hybrid fine, save some gas and not put many miles on my truck, but I'm not gonna be enjoying the drive. And when I drive something, brother, I gotta enjoy
Oh
driving it.
yeah.
Every vehicle I've owned, I've had to enjoy driving it. So that's and the only reason it's here is because it's a backup. Like, a good example is like when I last time I went off-roading and broke something
Didn't
was
you
with
broke a
us.
control arm or something like that?
No, it was with the SoCal four-wheel drive guys, Chris, James, and Full Send Chevys. They went as well. Eddie
Okay.
went, and it was a good time. It was a really really good time, and we were wheeling in the snow, and my my rack and pinion, I don't know, something internally gave out. I don't know what it was, to be honest with you, but it
Hmm.
just gave out, and so my that's where like that backup vehicle comes in very handy. You know what I'm saying? Like it comes in very handy because like if I have to leave the truck at the shop for like a day or two, boom, there's your little backup vehicle. But
Yeah,
I'll tell you
that's
this
where it comes
much.
in clutch.
I'll tell you this much. It's not as fun to drive. So as soon as I get my truck back, it's like it's a daily driver. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I know exactly how you feel when it comes to that. Because it's like if I don't drive my vehicle, then my only other option at this particular moment is an Acura MDX.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, it's not that bad and all that stuff, but It just isn't the same as when it's one of your own.
Right, right. No, yeah, and you know, it's very it's the convenience. That's the only reason why we're keeping this hybrid is because of the convenience. Yeah, it's not a bad car, but it's definitely not a fun car.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I had what's it called? I want to remember the yeah, I think that was the last major thing that happened to it. And even before that, I mean, I've had broken, everything that,
yeah.
everybody can
I seen the
can
post.
can relate to. Yeah, everybody can relate to this. It's a broken axles, broken drive shafts,
I
overheating. Luckily I got a really, really, really good friend of mine. He has his own company. Shout out to Gino and Silver City Tires and Service up in Canoga Park in the San Fernando Valley. He really, really takes care of me. He's a really, really good friend. They do everything. So whenever my truck is sick, I go over there and see the doctor, get my truck going again, and we're off to break it again.
yeah. I remember some of your posts that I actually found were hilarious. Were about, well, my vehicle's a two-wheel drive for a while.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. I do remember that. And yeah, you break your front. I mean, you break anything you break your front axles, you break your front drive shaft. Your what is it? Your front pumpkin.
Hmm.
You just it turns into a two-wheel drive. But yeah, I really and don't get me wrong, I enjoy that's the thing. A lot of people tell me like, "Oh, what do you like to do? Like, you like to do crazy stuff?" I can't do crazy stuff. I could do some, medium, a little bit above medium, but I can't do crazy stuff. Like my truck is not built for that. But um, when it was two-wheel drive, I think I did even take it out like once to like roller flats. I mean, I do a little bit of everything,
Yeah.
I do, some trails that have hardly any obstacles, two-wheel drive friendly, pretty much obstacles. And then
Hmm.
I like to do stuff to really test my truck out, go out with some of the big boys with like, some bigger, better builds to really test
Like
my
if I'm,
truck out.
did you ever go out with like Trail Militia or any of them?
I've never gone out with Trail Militia. I've never gone out with, I've gone out with Full Send Chevy. Now, I got out with Eddie this last time when SoCal four-wheel drive did their event.
Hmm.
Um, so, but I mean, you see all these videos online or these little stories that people post on their Instagrams and everything, and
Oh yeah.
you get an idea of like who are the people that are like really really like pushing it and really willing like extreme. Um, and my truck is definitely not built for like stuff like that yet. Maybe someday, maybe it will be. But as far
Yeah.
as like right now, I keep it at a level where I know I know what it can do pretty much.
And that's always a good way to go about it. And then eventually,
Yeah, yeah,
once you're ready to take that next step, it's like, all right, let's see how far we can go this time.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the thing is with me, like, I try my best. I try my best to really do a lot of um not just go out there and like blindly. I try to look at the trail, research it. I kind of, I do like I go to these trail runs or these um trails like calculating, okay, what kind of obstacle does it have? I know what my vehicle has. Let me look at some videos of similar vehicles that maybe have done this trail. If they done it, maybe I can too and whatnot. Because the last thing I want, brother, is like, the worst thing for anybody is like, you go out of the trail and you don't do your homework or you really just, not cautious at all. And then you end up breaking your rig and it's like
Yep.
for what? Like, I don't know. This one thing I always tell people, like, people should leave their egos at home when they're going wheeling because we know these rollovers, they're real. These, they're
Yeah.
real.
No. Yeah,
So
they are.
all these rollovers and, just and forget about the vehicle. Like when they end up hurting themselves or others, that's like,
Hmm.
yeah, that's the worst part, man.
That's why. And yeah, it's always good to like know your limits, and as you said, check your ego at home. Don't bring that with you out there because it's what was our friend Sal's favorite thing? Just we want to make sure everybody gets home safe,
Exactly.
and
Just
that's
yeah.
that's for everybody. Everybody says that we want to make sure everybody gets home safe whenever we go out on these trail runs, whether even if it's an easy trail that everybody can do to some of the more extreme ones.
And yeah, and don't get me wrong, like I've helped out several people out on the trails, not because they were acting like crazy and whatnot, but we do kind of want to get challenge ourselves a bit, but not in a like stupid manner, like and they kind of like I want to really see how much I can take it. And I've had to help people, I've had to help with recovery and whatnot. And at the same time, I had to be helped out, but again, it's not because it's recklessness, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's just kind of like, having fun, but
Hmm.
then things happen. Um, but yeah, it's getting home safe, making sure
Yeah.
that you're good. That's always, and trust me, people say, well, you're not really having fun if you're not, no, trust me, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
I don't need to, I don't need to be reckless. There's two different
Yeah.
things. There's like reckless, and then there's, kind of pushing yourself to the point where like you're like, okay, you kind of know the boundaries. Um, and I think that pretty much, I'll be honest with you, Stephen, everybody that I've off-roaded with has been that way. I haven't seen like really recklessness at all, like in my experience. I know that there is
Neither
out
have
there.
I. Yeah.
Yeah, um I know that that it's out there, people that do that, but in my experience, I've had nothing but good time with everybody I've ever hit trails with.
Oh yeah. No, same here. Same here. I mean, I don't think I've ever come across where. I mean, there was. Fuck, I mean, we did Pilot Rock last year, and there was like a sketchy situation. But I mean, other than that, that's just what happens when you start mixing alcohol with driving.
Oh, yeah,
And
brother, that's one thing I stay away from. Like,
hmm,
I can't. Which is cool. Like, and to each their own.
yeah,
If I see people drinking, listen, you're a grown man. I'm not gonna tell you to drink or not. That's totally up
yeah,
to you. But at the same time, it's like I just don't do it for myself because I just rather
oh,
not
I
for
agree.
obvious
I
reasons.
Any trail I've run, no matter what, like people would always offer drinks. I'm like, we're not done with the trail. I'm not drinking a beer, man. I go
Yeah,
once we're done with the trail and all that stuff, and we have time to relax afterwards. And yeah, I'll drink a beer and then let it get out of my system.
yeah,
But
yeah, for
not
sure.
never while driving or
Yeah, yeah.
in between the trail run.
Yeah, yeah, and then the other thing too that you know this very well, you know this very well, and you always promote it yourself too, and a lot of us other off-road enthusiasts, we also promoted like pack out what you packed in.
Oh yeah,
That really bugs me, bro. Like I've seen it several times where like people out on the trails and they just throw out their whatever it may be, bag of chips or soda can, beer can, whatever. I'm like, bro, like I almost want to catch up to that person and just throw it in their Jeep truck,
throwing
whatever it may be. But it's like
yeah,
they're either with another group, I'm over here, and I'm like, I'm hoping that they're at least trying to teach that person
yeah,
some off-road etiquette.
yes,
Yeah, it's crazy.
definitely, definitely. Speaking of trails and all that, now I know you're one of the members that's definitely hosting that pretty big run that's coming up for the GM special.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, um, yeah, it's the gym special. It is a group of really awesome guys, great group of guys. It's myself, my brand, Silverback4x4 wheeling. It's Alfred Crush Groove ZR2. It's Ryan Ready Rig with his big old Colorado, and the guys from the Colorado guys.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, man, we we have our second annual Calico run happening April 13th. And man, we're just so pumped up. I mean, well, ever since we started this little venture to create something for General Motors only.
hmm,
Not I don't want to say only, but catering towards General Motor vehicles. Um, it's been a blast, man. It's been a lot of work, but it's been a blast. And the team that we have is really like I feel very honored to be part of it.
yeah,
It feels great to be a part of something like that, to be able put something together for like, the GM community, Colorado's Canyons, Silverado Sierras, Envoys, whatever. If you have a Chevy Astro van that it wheels, bring it.
Oh,
You know what
dude,
I'm saying?
definitely, definitely. That
You
may
know what
be
I'm
something I
saying?
might have to buy.
You know what I'm saying? So you have a
Yeah.
GMC Safari 1996 minivan, bring it. If it wheels, like, so it feels really good because here's the fact of the matter is we all know that heavyweights in the off-road community are Toyota and Jeeps. That's
That's
for
right.
sure. That's given.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong. I mean, I know there's like, these little funny, what would you say?
The little memes, the beefs, or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, and they're funny, and to me, I
Yeah.
laugh at them, and I don't care even if they're Chevy or GMC towards GMC or Chevy. They're funny. I'm gonna laugh, but um, it's really nice to just because there was really nothing for all of General Motors. You know what I'm saying? Like there
Yep.
was
I
there
remember.
was nothing that got all of General Motors. I mean, Hummers, like everything that's under the General Motor umbrella. There was nothing out there, so. Um, Little by little, like, it was a thought, the thought came to a plan, a idea, a plan, and then all of that has just spiraled to what the GM Special is, and like I said, it's a great group of, guys. I really love how it's, organized as far as, like, there's no hierarchy, there's no president, there's no person that has the last word. It's a
Yep.
round table thing where it's like majority vote wins. You know what I'm saying? Um, and that means like for any ideas, hey, should we put this on this flyer? Should we drop the flyer on this day? Should we have this? Everything is a majority vote wins type of thing. Because
Oh,
that's the
that's
only
always
way.
good.
Yeah, yeah, because that's the only way it's gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Like there's been ideas that I've offered and they were shut down, and I have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
There's ideas that Alfred, Crush Groove ZR2, suggested, and they got shut down, and he's okay with them. Um, and that's the only way something like that can work. Because if you have something where it's like people clashing, it won't work. So, but yeah, let me get back to the event. It's happening April 13th. It's gonna be on Saturday. Some people are coming. They're gonna be camping out Friday, the night before, and
That's
possibly,
my goal.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So they're gonna be camping Friday, and so possibly some of the people that are gonna be camping till Sunday. So it's pretty much we're telling people whoever it's up to them. It's up to all of you guys, whoever wants to camp out or not camp out. I was gonna camp out. I was trying to. I was thinking about it, but then I was like, "Nah, I'll probably just go for a day because I'm gonna try to organize a caravan for the morning of because I'm not gonna be the only one that's only going for a day." So
Oh yeah, no, I saw
yeah,
that post.
yeah. So we'll see. But here comes the other thing. The it's a lot of hard work. I mean, all the sponsors that we reach out to, and some of them have reached out to us, like, being a part of it. It's like I remember Alfred said this once. He said, "Yo, like this is a lot of work, and there's no money to be made." I'm like, "No, absolutely. There's no money to be made. There's no this. There's no that." And he says, "But it's fun." And I was like, "Absolutely. That's why it doesn't feel." Like, it is hard work, but it's fun, and at the end of the day, when we put these events, the people that are attending are having a blast, we're having a blast, and it's nothing but great vibes. That's to me, that's the awesome part, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And then you've been to our, one or a few of our events, right?
Yep. Yep.
It's one thing that we like to do, and we don't have to, but I think it's like a cool thing because I know if I was going somewhere and they said this, I would be like super excited about. It's like the raffles. We do these raffles and it's really fun. It's super
It is. It
awesome,
is.
and it gets people like all pumped up and it gets us pumped up too, like. So yeah, it's gonna be a blast. And man, I've like for several months now, I've just been like thinking nothing but that.
For like the raffle. Oh, for the raffle. I mean, for the Calico run, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've just
Yeah.
been looking forward to it so
Same
much.
here. Same here. Like when I started seeing the posts and everything, started seeing the some of the sponsors and all that. I was like, oh, dude, that's pretty sweet. That's pretty dope. Because like again, one of the only names that ever stood out to me for a minute was peak suspension was one of them on there, and just because I remember at one point when I was talking about suspension, somebody came out of left field with like, check them out, they do the Colorados, like they because most of the time I would always hear about Kings or Fox, but everybody would talk about it for Tacoma, 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 and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, I'm a Chevy guy right now, so I go, I need to know for Chevy,
Yeah,
and
right.
I believe I met one gentleman who is like, I don't know if he's like sponsored or whatnot, but he reps that peak suspension. Oh, like at every event I ever saw him, like his truck's got peak suspension written all over it, or not all over it, but he had the decals for and then he had the shocks and everything set up. It was pretty nice. So I was like, it was nice to know at
Yeah.
least that there are some companies that were also not just promoting towards Toyota. Don't get me wrong, they probably do Toyota as well, but
Yeah.
that it was they were talking about it for on the Chevy Colorado side,
Yeah, yeah, for sure,
which is
definitely.
pretty dope.
I definitely feel what you're saying, being that I'm a GM owner. But yeah, and I know that yourself, you have a lot of friends in the Toyota community. That's the thing
Yeah.
too, like, you know, I know that there's like some like friendly competition amongst the Jeep, Toyota, Chevy, Ford, all these guys. There's like some
Yep.
friendly competition with memes going back and forth, and those are all fun and whatnot. Um, but I know that just like how I used to be in the car scene many moons ago, I remember that they used to be like, "Oh, are you domestic or import?" I'm like, "Listen, brother, I'm a car enthusiast. I'm a car enthusiast. That means that I don't care if you have a Japanese vehicle, I don't care if you have a Korean vehicle, I don't care if you have an American vehicle. If it's to my liking and I think it's badass, I like it. I'm not,
No,
you
yeah.
know, I'm not strictly one thing or another as far as like domestic or imports. Same thing with my off-roading, with my off-road journey that I've been in. Um, I like Toyotas, man. I like Jeeps. I like GMs. Um, it's all about the build, like it's all about the build and what it's capable of doing. Um, and it's a lot of them, like, when I've hosted some trail runs, I've had a little bit of everything in them,
Yeah.
and a lot of those vehicles, all of them for that matter, they're all very capable.
Oh yeah, they are.
It's just they look different, right? They look
Yeah.
different. Some obviously Toyota has a reputation for, being a great vehicle, but
Hmm.
Jeep has the reputation of, don't follow me, you won't make it. Something like that, right?
That's true. That's true.
They all have those type of good reputations. But at the end of the day, it's like I think it doesn't matter what vehicle you have. Um, it's that passion that you have of getting off the paved road, going where, not most of society has ever driven, you know what I'm saying? Like most of
Yep.
society is on pavement. So whenever you're on the dirt and on these trails, it just feels great no matter what you drive.
Definitely, I agree there. I mean, like if I ever end up having to go down the path of getting, if I had to get me a Yoder, honestly, I was actually looking at a Forerunner in the Tundra,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
for the truck wise, because I mean, a truck is just, I see myself always driving a truck. But at one point, I would not mind. I've driven Forerunners myself in the past, and they're very capable. They're very handy, and I mean, if you're gonna go out camp somewhere, you don't have a fully. I mean, I can't see myself sleeping in the back of a Honda Civic or something like that. It's
Right, right.
I'm a big guy, so I need more room. So Forerunner's like perfect.
Brother, I'm with you. I wouldn't be I wouldn't see myself sleeping in the back of no Civic or anything like that. But I get what you're saying. Um, and it's all about looks. And going back to the forerun, they look nice. You know what I'm
Oh
saying? They
yeah.
look really nice. They actually look really, really nice. Um, Mm, that's what I like when I see vehicles out there, um, that look really nice. Whether you see, a Toyota Tacoma, a 4Runner, or Ford Ranger. Was it Matt has his Ford Ranger.
Oh yeah.
He's been having his Ford Ranger, and it's pretty built up, really nice.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter what you have. I remember one of I hosted a trail run. I want to say it was I can't remember if it was Pilot Rock or Cleghorn, one of those 2. And Carlos, I had already, met Carlos and was already chopping it up with him, polluting Bronco.
Hmm.
Um, and then all of a sudden, I think it was like 3 or 4 more Nissans showed up, and I was like, "Dude, that is dope. That's
Yeah.
dope." When you see, like because normally what you see out there in the trails is like a bunch of Tacomas or a bunch of Jeeps, right? So
Yep,
whenever you see
that's true.
these other vehicles that you don't see much of, like like you don't see a lot of Frontiers out there. And when I saw the Frontiers in his Xterra, and I was like, dude, that is so dope. And
Yeah,
I think he mentioned like I'm gonna start out, I should start a brand or something like that, a off-road brand. I can't remember if we were all talking about it, and then I was like, yeah, you should. And yeah, that's where his SoCal Nissans came about. Like it was
yeah.
so cool to
SoCal
see that.
Nissan 4x4, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And that's where and people like him, people like you, people like me, people like a lot of people that we talk to, and so many that we haven't had a chance to talk to, or maybe we just chop it up online or whatnot. Um, we all have that same passion of just getting off the paved road, whether it be like camping, whether it be one day, whether it be hard trail, easy trail, super far away from your house, or in your backyard. It's just that same feeling that we all get. It's
Yep.
one thing that we all share in common, and that's the beauty. That's the beautiful part, like of this whole off-roading stuff.
No, definitely, I agree. Just like the 395 is like my favorite go-to place all the time now.
Oh yeah, right, right. Yeah, I
Just
think
going up and down that.
yeah, yeah, definitely, man.
Oh, all right. So besides, so other than that, I know I don't know if there's any other big runs coming up right directly right after, but I mean, we got summers around the corner, and that's usually the time when everybody's like, "All right, let's start, doing more trails." I know right
Oh
now we've
yeah,
been getting hit with a bunch of rain, so I mean, for some people it is a little bit more difficult to go out and do stuff just because the weather doesn't permit it. But with summer, coming right around the corner, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a lot of groups and a lot of events, coming up. Hell, I think Full Send Chevy also has something coming up. I think either the same weekend
yeah.
as
No,
you
it's
guys.
it's. I want to say it's the following weekend. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
they're having, which is like they're doing the. I believe it's the Mojave Desert
Mojave
Run. Yeah,
Trail. Yeah.
yeah, Mojave Trail. So that should be a fun one for like I've never actually done that one, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. So
Same.
that should be a good one. I'm really gonna try my best to make that one because it's week after ours.
Yeah.
Um, I'm really gonna try to make that one out. But I know that if I don't make it out, I know that whoever attends that is gonna have a blast. I mean the Full Send Chef guys are fun dudes. Eddie's always a blast. He's a cool dude.
Oh yeah.
And that's the other thing too. Like with the off-road community, there's this thing where it's like everybody's like, as far as like what I've experienced, right? Like nothing but respect, man, and nothing but good vibes. And
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some, other people have maybe different experiences. But as far as
Yes.
mine goes, man, I've had nothing but like great experiences with everybody and good
Oh
vibes.
yeah.
And
No. Same here.
and I intend to like keep it that way, like, positiveness attracts positiveness. So that's kind of how I try to live my life, even outside of my even outside of off-roading.
Yeah.
The way I try to live my life, just try to just be
Look at
positive as much as
the
I
upside of everything.
absolutely, exactly, exactly. There's always exactly. Just you put it very well said.
All right. I think that pretty much about wraps up everything here for today. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it's been very great having you on here, Manny. And definitely can't wait to see you guys next weekend. I'm definitely planning to myself personally to go camping out on Friday. I mean, I took the time off already from work, so I
Nice,
should be making it out there. Should not have
nice,
any
nice.
reason not to be going. So
Nice, nice. No, yeah, same here. I'm so pumped up, so pumped up. I mean, I can't wait. Super excited,
definitely.
and I'm hoping we see everybody that we saw last time around, and more people, coming by. I know that we're getting a lot of people from Arizona. We're getting people from Nevada. Hopefully
I might.
Texas again.
I do believe somebody I do follow is actually coming out from New Mexico
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
with that desert runner trailer or whatever it was, Desert Boss.
Yeah, yeah, so yeah, this time around we're getting people from also other states like you said, New Mexico. We're getting people from Utah. I believe we're getting the Pacific Northwest. They're coming down. Last time they were come down, and just a lot of people from all over California, like Northern California, and the regulars from Southern California. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be pop. It's gonna be. I'm hoping. it's for sure it's gonna be good vibes,
Oh yeah,
but
definitely.
it's gonna be on and popping, so it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing. Is like one of the things I want to do when we're out there is just basically meet all these people from
Yes,
other
yes.
states.
Getting to meet people, that's the part. You
Yep.
just said it right there. Just meeting the people that you chop it up with. That's when I first I met, like, Pete and Anthony at the Calico first one, like I felt like a little kid, like, whoa, hey, it's you, the man, the myth, the legend, you know?
Mm, yeah,
So
definitely,
yeah, that's the
definitely.
best part, getting to meet the people. That's the best part.
Yeah, dude. Again, I'm super excited for this. Cannot wait. My goal is to camp out Friday, but if not, worst case scenario, I'll know more by maybe end of this week to figure out. But if anything, I'll see if anybody's caravanning out from Orange County, and then if not, hell, even make one myself, and then just head on out that way.
Well, the good thing is that I'm setting up the caravan where, like, everybody from Southern California can kind of like meet at this area, so
Okay,
nobody kind
perfect.
of really backtracks. But yeah, I should be putting that out, maybe I want to say maybe a few days or maybe even a week before the actual event. So
Perfect. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Cool. All right, Manny. Thank you very much again for coming out and being on the podcast. And I definitely can't wait to hang again. So, other than that, man, you have a good night.
all right, Steven, thank you, and appreciate you for everything that you're doing, and keep on doing it, brother.
For sure. For sure.